Hello everyone. In today's video lecture session of GIT, we will learn about drugs used for treatment of constipation. Right? You all know constipation. It is basically a symptom. It is not a disease by itself, but this symptom can be a part of any disease. So in today's lecture, first we learn about some basic things about constipation, then what are the drugs that are used to treat constipation, and finally in which kind of constipation we should use which kind of drugs, means drug of choice, that we'll learn. So basically it is a small topic. So let's start with this video lecture, drugs for constipation. You all know the constipation is basically a lack of stool passage or difficulty in evacuation of bowel is basically known as constipation. By definition, lack of passage of stool for more than 3 days is considered as constipation. Means less than 3 days it can be a normal or it can be pathological also. And difficulty in evacuation due to any reason is also considered as constipation. So that is the basic definition of constipation. As I told you that it is a symptom, it is not a disease by itself. So there are so many causes of constipation. So it may be due to dehydration, it may be due to lack of fiber diet, some disturbance in flora, food sensitivities, disease like autoimmune disease or hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, that is also autoimmune disease, or due to some obstructive reasons. There are other reasons also apart from this, also other causes which can cause the constipation, right? So again we are not going into the causes. Whatever may be the reason, there are various types of drugs that you can use to treat the constipation depending upon that cause. Again, the cause is important to know, right? For treatment, to learn treatment, cause is also important, because constipation is due to what, that again decides your treatment of choice. Okay, we'll see that. So before going to the actual pharmacotherapy, there are some general measures which will help to prevent or to treat constipations. They are: take adequate fluid, then high fiber diet, regular exercise, regulation habit, and avoiding drugs which can cause constipation. So these are the general measures which can help in any kind of constipation, right? Okay, now what is our main concentrating part is drugs which are used to treat constipation. So they are known as laxative. These are the terms used for these drugs: laxative and purgative, right? Laxative also known as aperients, and purgatives also known as cathartics. So all are same and used interchangeably, but still those who are having mild action, they are known as laxatives, and those who are having very strong actions, they are known as purgatives, right? And so we will use both these words interchangeably. We are not going to differentiate, but this is just for knowledge that laxative, purgative, these all are terms used for the drugs which are used to treat constipation. Okay, so these are the broad classes of drugs to treat constipation: bulk forming agents, stool softener, stimulant purgatives, and osmotic purgatives. All the classes have individual agents also. So we'll see one by one each class, and what are the drugs which are there in each class, and what is the mechanism of action of these classes. So let's start with this bulk forming agents or bulk purgatives. So this bulk purgatives, they are very commonly used to treat basically a functional constipation, right? We'll see in the later part of this lecture what is functional constipation, but these are, you can say, should be your first choice if the patient is not having any major pathology, right? So what is the mechanism of this bulk purgatives? Within the intestine, they form a bulk help to increase the bulk of the fecal content by increasing water absorption or water content. So within this bulk forming agent, they absorb the water, and by that they increase the bulk of this intestinal content, and due to increase in bulk they will stimulate certain amount of certain degree of peristalsis also, and that will help in the evacuation of the bowel. So that is the basic mechanism of this bulk purgative agents, right? Okay, now these are the agents which are used as bulk purgatives. First is dietary fibers, right? So dietary fibers, they are basically undigested polysaccharides, right? They are undigested polysaccharides, and they will absorb the water in the intestine as shown in the figure. They will swell up and increase the intestinal motility. So there are various some kind of vegetables and fruits, they have high amount of dietary fibers which can be used to treat functional constipation. Some grains, then bran, right? So bran is basically a dietary fiber which is consist of like it is a part of some vegetable food also, right? So it is basically a residual product of flour industry, right? And maybe a part of some vegetable and fruit also, and pectin also. So these are the dietary fibers. They will also help to increase the growth of bacteria within the intestine, so increase the quality of intestinal flora also. Okay, second, this psyllium and isabgol, right? You must have heard the name of this isabgol. It is very commonly used in general population to treat the constipation. So again the mechanism of action will remain same, right? Okay, another agent is methyl cellulose. So these are the agents which are used as bulk forming agents, right? Now there are certain disadvantages of using bulk forming. One is that they take the time to action, right? So after taking this bulk forming agents, the result will be seen after 1 to 3 days. So again it cannot be a part of treatment where emergency or you can say instant evacuation of bowel is required. For example, just before the surgery. So tomorrow if surgery is planned and today if evacuation of bowel is required, then this kind of agent will not be useful. Second, intestinal obstruction. Obviously if obstruction is there, bulk forming agents are not useful. Malabsorption syndrome and abdominal distension, because this bulk forming agents itself are causing distension of intestine, so they are not as helpful. Then it will interfere with the absorption of other drugs like iron, and bacterial indigestion of plant fibers may lead to increased bloating, right? So bacteria may digest this bulk forming agents and it will lead to bloating, means gas formation in the intestine. So these are the major side effects of using bulk forming agents. Okay, but as I told you earlier that in the functional constipation, if patient is not having any major pathology, bulk forming agents should be your drug of choice, because they are having slow onset of action, but they are also not having some major side effects also. Okay, coming to second one, that is stool softener. Now the stool softener agents, they are basically, they increase fluid content, or you can say liquid content within the intestine, right? But their mechanism of increasing fluid content is different. Bulk forming was absorbing H2O and they were increasing bulk also. This surfactants or stool softeners will not increase the bulk, right? So they decrease the surface tension. There may be a different kind of mechanism by which they increase the fluid or water content in the intestinal contents. So surfactants, they are also known as surfactants. They decrease surface tension of feces. And example is Docusate, right? Docusate is the example which is used as stool softener. They are basically detergent action. So by the detergent action, they increase the water entry in the fecal material, right? So that's how they increase the you can say evacuation of the bowel. So it is given orally or as bowel enemas and commonly prescribed in hospitalized patients with to minimize the straining, right? So the patients like those who are having certain disease like myocardial infarction, where straining should be avoided, right? Because increasing straining in this kind of patients can increase the overload to heart. So to decrease the straining, this kind of agents, surfactants, can be given. Second agent is glycerin, that is also used as suppository, right? You have learned this word in various modes of drug administration in general pharmacology, right? And third one is mineral oil, liquid paraffin, still used, but liquid paraffin should be avoided, but still it is very commonly used because it can cause cramps and abdominal pain like side effects can be seen, so it should be avoided, right? Okay. Okay, if you go for uses, this stool softeners or surfactants are less commonly used nowadays, but still they are not out of the order, right? They are still in the use. Okay, third important category is stimulant purgative, right? We have learned bulb forming, stool softener, none of them are, you can say, they are acting on intestinal wall, right? They are acting on intestinal content only, but this class, stimulant purgative, right, bisacodyl is the example of it. So it will stimulate intestinal mucosa, and by stimulating intestinal mucosa it will increase its evacuation process or peristalsis. So this is kind of agent which are having action on intestinal mucosa also, right? Apart from that, it has some other mechanism also. So it also stimulates intestine, as well as it acts on sodium potassium ATPase pump, right, in the lumen, and by blocking that pump it will cause sodium retention, and secondary to the sodium retention there will be water retention also. So in nutshell, what I want to say that it also increase water content. So it has dual action. One is it stimulates intestinal mucosa, it acts on that to increase peristalsis, and second, it also increase water content by inhibiting sodium potassium ATPase pumps, and also it increase the secretions within the intestinal lumen. So these are the dual mechanism by which the stimulant purgatives help to relieve constipation. Okay, so these are the agents which are used, uh, bisacodyl, sodium pycosulfate, anthraquinones, and lubiprostone. Okay, before discussing that, bisacodyl and sodium pycosulfate, these are the agents which are having action of stimulating this intestinal mucosa. So obviously it is that if you give large dose, right, then it can lead to excessive amount of evacuation of the bowel content. Again, as I told you, it also increases the water content. There are chances that it can lead to some electrolyte imbalance, because if sodium is retained, instead of that potassium will be lost, right? So it can lead to hypokalemia, right? Likewise, it can stimulate other smooth muscles also, and by stimulating more amount of more stimulation to intestinal wall, it can also stimulate, if the person is, means if it is lady and she is pregnant, it can also stimulate gravid uterus also due to this intestinal mucosal intestinal action. So they are contraindicated in such type of situation. Again, one more contraindication is a patient is having intestinal obstruction. In such condition also you cannot give such kind of stimulant purgatives, right? So bisacodyl is one agent which can be used. Second is sodium pycosulfate. So sodium pycosulfate is a drug of choice for colonoscopy and colonic surgery. So before performing this procedure, colonoscopy, or before this colonic surgery, if you want to evacuate bowel, sodium pycosulfate can be used. Anthraquinones, they are Senna and Cascara sagrada. These are the two agents in this class, anthraquinones. It is also stimulant, purgative, right? Actions and all that all are same. Lubiprostone is unique drug. It is prostaglandin analog, right? It is prostaglandin analog. Basically, as a figure है, it was for lubiprostone also. Sodium potassium ATPase CY. Here you can say this is a chloride channel is there, right? So it is, there are receptor for prostaglandins in the intestinal lumen. So it acts on that prostaglandin receptors and it activates this mucosal chloride channels, and by activating it increase chloride rich fluid within the intestine. So that is the unique action of this lubiprostone, and it can be used as stimulant purgative, right? So this is about stimulant purgative. Coming to next, that is osmotic purgative. Now word itself suggests its mechanism of action, that what they do, they create osmosis within the intestinal lumen. They have characteristics of creating osmosis, and you all are aware that by osmosis you can increase the water content, right? So osmosis process, they have the quality, basically they are organic acids, so they have quality within themselves that they can create osmotic pressure, and by that they will increase the H2O content within the intestinal lumen, and by that they will increase the peristalsis. So that is the osmotic purgatives. They are also known as saline purgatives. So both the words can be used for it, osmotic and saline purgatives. Okay, magnesium sulfate and magnesium hydroxide, sodium sulfate and sodium phosphates, these are the agents which are used as saline purgatives, but they are infrequently used now, not more commonly used, because usually what happens that by its mechanism of action, by process of osmosis, right, after the relieving of constipation it will cause watery stool, right, due to that its process of osmosis. So they are not more commonly used. These two agents, lactulose and lactitol, they are still in the use and very commonly used to treat this constipation. Lactulose commonly used, but basically if the constipation is due to some hepatic pathology, right, more in so many conditions, hepatic condition, constipation is the symptom of that particular condition. If hepatitis is there, even in the viral hepatitis, jaundice, right, constipation is the common symptoms. So in such condition lactulose is the drug of choice, and in hepatic encephalopathy it is not a drug of choice, but it is used to help the patient of hepatic encephalopathy. Now what happens in hepatic encephalopathy, that there is usually the gut flora or gut bacteria, they produce high amount of ammonia, right? This is a high amount of ammonia, and this toxic ammonia is metabolized by liver, right? So it will prevent this high amount of ammonia going into the central nervous system. But if liver is damaged so much due to any reason, if liver is damaged too much, then this high amount of ammonia cannot be detoxified by the liver. So what will happen in the circulation, ammonia amount will increase. Ultimately that increased ammonia will reach into the central nervous system and it will lead to a coma like situation, that is known as hepatic encephalopathy. Now how lactulose can help in this, that this lactulose, right, within the gut it will get converted into lactic acid, acetic acid. It will decrease the pH, intestinal containing pH will get decreased, and what will happen, that decreased pH will convert this ammonia into this NH4 plus, right, and this NH4 plus will relatively have lower absorption ratio compared to NH3. So આ જેટલું એબ્ઝોર્બ થતું હતું સર્ક્યુલેશનમાં એટલું આ નહીં થાય. So lactulose will increase conversion of NH3 to NH4 plus. That is the advantage of using lactulose in this. So of course it has જેની saline purgative વાળી action છે તો છે જ, right? So by that action it will also help in relieving constipation also, but this is the one advantage of using lactulose in case of hepatic encephalopathy as well as liver disease induced constipation. So lactulose can be used and lactitol is you can say substitute or same kind of agent as lactulose. Okay, so that's all about the 4 classes that we have learned, right? Bulk forming agents, stool softener, this stimulant purgatives, and the last is this saline purgatives or osmotic purgatives. Okay, now what we are going to discuss is that which kind of agent should be used in which kind of constipation. That is again important. Like vomiting માં પણ જેમ drug of choice is that which kind of drug should be used where. Same thing is here, you should use some particular kind of drug in particular kind of constipation. Before that, there are some contraindications which should be followed before giving drugs in constipation. First, any kind of undiagnosed pain, do not give constipation directly. Secondary constipation means constipation due to some disease, so evaluate it first, go to the cause first and then start. For example, hypothyroidism, hypercalcemia or malignancies. So what happen if without diagnosis you continue on giving constipation? Of course it will give some symptomatic relief to the patient, but the ultimate, when the cause is not resolved, till then the patient will go on complaining, right? So, and second thing, apart from complaint, it can also worsen some conditions. So that's why you should keep these contraindications in the mind before using drugs. Okay, now coming to the drug of choice, functional constipation. Functional constipation is nothing but the patient is having constipation in the absence of any major pathology, right? If the constipation is due to its own lifestyle or due to some functional problem of the intestine, then that is considered as functional constipation. So in such kind of patients, before going to drug, the advice will be to improve the lifestyle, to take plenty of waters, exercise, that steps that we discussed earlier, that should be given first. And even if not relieved, then you can go for the drugs in functional constipation also. So if it is there can be 2 types of functional, spastic and atonic, right? So if the spastic intestine is having spastic condition, right, then you can go for the dietary fibers. And if in the atonic conditions, means intestine is sluggishly moving, that is known as atonic. આની અંદર contraction વધારે હોય એટલે constipation હોય. આની અંદર atony હોય, means lack of muscle tone, smooth muscle tone. So that in such kind of condition you can give bulk forming Bisacodyl or Senna, right? Senna is stimulant purgative. Okay, for bedridden patients, a patient is having bedridden conditions like after stroke or some chronic disorders, due to that condition patient will have constipation. So to prevent such condition, you can give bulk forming agents, docusets and lactulose. And to treat, you have the option of enema by saline purgatives. You can give some stimulant agent also if required, but enema by saline purgative is the first choice. Again, to avoid straining at stool, which is required in the patients having condition like myocardial infarctions or other conditions where straining should be avoided, right? So here you can give bulk forming, lactulose and docusets agents. Second is preparation of bowel before surgery, right? So or colonoscopy or abdominal x-ray. Here in such kind of condition you require immediate action, right? Because you want to go for some procedure. So immediate action is must. So here saline purgatives and stimulant purgatives, bisacodyl and senna are useful. After certain anthelmintics. Anthelmintics are the drugs which are used to kill or to treat parasitic agents, right, to kill parasitic organisms. So what happens after killing them? Worms, anti-worms, commonly known as anti-worm drugs. So after giving anti-worm drugs or anthelmintics, you want to evacuate that worms from the body. So for that you can give drugs, saline purgatives or senna. If patient is having poisoning, food or drug poisoning, that condition, of course here constipation is not there, but you want to throw out this food or this drug poison, then you can go for saline purgatives, immediate action is there. So there is the drug of choice for all the condition. Remember this drug of choice, આમાંથી short questions પૂછાઈ શકે છે, that what is the drug of choice for this kind of condition, what is the, or MCQ પૂછાઈ શકે છે, that's for this condition આમાંથી કયા કયા purgative use થાય, like that. And the last simple small point is purgative abuse. It is very rarely seen, but seen, right, that patient becomes abused to purgative use, right. They have by themselves the sense of constipation, feeling constipated, and to relieve that sense they start on using purgative by themselves, and gradually they become abused to that agent, right. Such kind of abusive things is also seen in some, mostly in the drugs used in the central nervous system conditions, but here also you can see so many patients having abuse. The thing is that at the long term use it will increase the pathology, it will not relieve it due to increased evacuations, electrolyte imbalances, there steatorrhea is nothing but loss of fat in the stool is known as steatorrhea, right. So due to increased use, steatorrhea can develop, malabsorption syndrome, protein will be lost in the stool, spastic colitis. So on long term the patient or the person who is having this abusive personality, it will result in this kind of condition. Basically it is a psychological condition, so such kind of patients require psychological counseling only, right. So that's all about the drugs to treat constipation, in which in this we have seen the what are the various classification of drugs, what are the causes for constipation, and how, what is the mechanism of individual class, and in which kind of constipation you should use which kind of drug. આમાંથી long question પણ આવી શકે, and short question, જે drug of choice માં કીધું એમાં short question can also be asked. Hope you have learned something. Thank you.